Okay, so last week we talked about Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, and we talked about this this Steam group and what Sweet Baby Inc. is. Sweet Baby Inc. is a consulting agency or a consulting group, whatever you want to call it, and developers, when they want to put a when developers want to talk about a story that has some inclusivity elements in there, they usually go to Sweet Baby Inc. to get consultation on that, which is totally normal. It happens in the industry, and it's a good thing. You know, we basically talked about that, and we talked about why this is not the way that it seems. A lot of people think that they're forcing diversity on developers, which is not something that happens at all. There's no diversity quota in video games or in video game development. That is the strangest lie I've ever heard about the video game industry. Making video games is a very complex process, and there is no such thing as a group coming in to force diversity on developers. And these guys created a Steam group, and they also do curator stuff, and they basically just say, hey, you know, we see that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on some games, so we don't recommend these games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on. And we talked about this, and it's stupid. There's even games on here like South of Midnight by Compulsion Games and Xbox Game Studios that prominently features a black character in the game. This game's not even out yet, and they already don't like it because Sweet Baby Inc. consulted on it, and it's so dumb that they even decided to do this. Well, it gets a lot stupider. Not only do they now have a Steam group, it gets even worse. And dumber. I'm not sure which one. Probably both. Yeah, the one we watched. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that video. Oh my God. They managed to create a website called DEI Detected. And it's right here. And, okay, so for those of you who don't know what DEI is, DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they keep saying this word forced. DEI is becoming unbearable on games. It's not. I don't know where they're getting that from. It's time to push back. Vote with your wallet. This is the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen. So, you know, they have all the games from... from their Steam group, and they even have God of War Ragnarok. God of War is not on God of War Ragnarok is not on Steam yet. Alan Wake is not on Steam. Unfortunately, that's on the Epic Games Store only, which is unfortunate in and of itself. But they also have Pokemon Go on here. GamerX worked on the last update. GamerX is a consulting agency similar to Sweet Baby Inc. And if developers want to include LGBTQ characters in their game, then developers go and consult them about those elements in their game. Because yes, developers do want to appeal to the LGBTQ community because they want their games to sell as many copies as possible. We want the biggest audience possible in video games. And you know, so games sell more, and the more people that play games, the better. That makes sense. I'm sorry, Pokemon Go? Yes. Yes, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. And this is the update that they pushed out. You know, as you can see, you know, her hips are, you know, she's thin here, and then, you know, they changed stuff here, and they made her less feminine. I'm assuming it has something to do with her shorts and, you know, whatever, you know, her figure there and whatnot. And they're blaming GamerX now on this update. And apparently it's gotten some backlash. Now, the funny thing up here, okay, this is funny. What's happening to Pokemon after all? Well, fortunately, it's not what is happening with Pokemon, but instead with Pokemon Go only. The rest of the franchise and its related products for now remains intact, and that's a good thing. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. First of all, I play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I play Pokemon Violet, but same goes for Scarlet. In Pokemon Violet, They don't even like you don't even have to choose your gender. They don't give you, you don't really give yourself a gender identity or a male or female identity. They kind of let you handle that, and you just create the character the way you see. You can also, create whatever kind, person of color character in the game. The new Pokemon cartoon that's out, the new Pokemon cartoon anime that's out, Star's a girl, but yeah, anyway, I don't know what he's talking about, because Pokemon is almost at the forefront of diversity and inclusion. They would know this if they've actually played the games. Scarlet and Violet do not do not have players choose their gender or their sexuality or what type of sex they are in the game. They just, let them create whatever character they want to create. And you can also have the main character dress up as the opposite. Yeah, you can have the character dress up as whatever gender you want. And there are people of color in the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. there's plenty. There's a teacher that's a person of color. There are people in the world that are people of color. So the whole thing that like the rest of the Pokemon game related products remains intact means nothing, because they haven't even played Pokemon Violet or Scarlet. So it's the most ridiculous thing ever, right? It's the stupidest statement they have on this page. They haven't played a Pokemon game. They haven't played Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, and like I said, the new Pokemon anime that's out that is supposed to go along with Scarlet and Violet, stars a female, stars a woman or a girl. So, yeah, I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know if they're going to call that woke or not, or DEI or whatever. But yeah, this is by far one of the, this is a stupid website. This is so dumb. And I cannot believe how I can't believe they even did this. But yeah, they even have a filter where you can go filter by, developer. DEI Detected only, so you can go see what games are DEI, have diversity, equity, and inclusion, which are good things in games. But, to them it's forced, which isn't the case at all. That's not how this works. The creator of this group is the same guy that we talked about, or the creator of this website is the same guy that we talked about on Friday. Remember how he said that he watched the trailer for God of War Ragnarok and he noticed things were different. And it was probably that one character in the game that was black, Angraboda, who was Atreus' friend in the game. So yeah, that's this guy. It's the same guy. And this is a whole other thing with Hades 2. Hades 2 versus Stellar Blade, but why? So let me explain like Hades 2 and Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, I like I said, I like the demo. I don't know if I'm going to get the game because I don't pre-order games, and I just wait to see how games are going to review first. But Stellar Blade, Eve, the main character, is just there to look good. At least as far as we can tell, she's just there to look good. Now, there might be more to that character before the game releases. We have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't think it's fair to make a judgment on that game before it's released, but judging from what, I played, the character's not well written right now, but like I said, that could change. In Hades, the characters are drawn sexy. Every character is drawn sexy. Like, that's just the way it is, and I'm fine with that. Even the male characters are drawn very good looking, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But the thing is that, the difference between Hades and Stellar Blade is that in Hades, the character, Aphrodite, who is drawn very provocatively, she's aware of how she's aware of it, and she is she's in control of that. That's what I think. That's what makes it different, is that this character is in control of themselves, and they're not there for the player to be like, oh wow, that looks good. She's not just there for that, but she's also in charge. She's also has some sort of commanding influence over the game, or over her own personality and her sexuality, which I think is a good thing. But they seem to just miss that. And like I said, having a consulting agency consult on things like, how to tell LGBTQ stories in games, and how to talk about those narratives in games, or how to write those narratives is a good thing. I'm straight. So if I'm creating a game, I want to create a game, and I want to create a game with LGBTQ characters in it. Yes, I would want to consult somebody in that community so I can write a good narrative that community can appreciate. It just makes sense. You know, if I was writing a game that takes place in Brazil about Brazilians, I would think that he would want me to consult with Brazilians about the game. You know, and talk about, you know, what their culture is like and things like that, and what it's like in Brazil. That's really what they do. They just consult with developers on how to, you know, have better inclusivity in their games. Because let's face it, most of the developers in the gaming industry are white and male, and they might not understand certain things that people of color may go through, or the LGBTQ community. So that's why they consult with Sweet Baby Inc. or Gamer X or whatever they're called. And I just think this group and this website is just so dumb. I don't know what game is I don't know what DEI free means. I don't know what this means, but I'll say this. In Metroid, at the end of the game, hey, Cynical, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're feeling better. Metroid, at the end of the game, the very first Metroid, everyone thought Samus was a male. At least that's what they thought. And at the end of the game, Samus takes off the helmet, and it's a woman. If that had happened today, these people would call the game woke. They would call Metroid woke. You know? So this just goes to show that it's, you know, when they throw around words like woke, nobody really properly defines the word woke, and I'll define it right now for you. Woke is just a way for us to, you know, to show respect to marginalized communities, and to help include them in our media that we create today. That's what woke means. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we want as many people to play these games as possible. That's a capitalism idea, is to get the biggest audience possible to buy and play your games. That's what it's about. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. This is, again, this whole thing is just silly, and it's just blown up to a proportion where I just think it's one of the dumbest things I've seen in gaming in a while. But having, you know, woke characters in your game or whatever woke means, whatever they think it means, is not bad. The only it's not bad. It's not ruining your games. It's not making gaming worse. Developers are just trying to grow their audience so more people can play these games and appreciate these games. About us. Okay, here's about us. Sup, guys? I'm Gabritus. I'm your average, normal-looking gamer dude. No lies detected. Who's passionate about this hobby and industry. In all fairness, I saw his Steam profile, and he plays a lot of games. He really does play a lot of games. He, oh my God, his Steam profile is loaded. You know, he really does move through a lot of games, like a lot. I'm wondering how he has so much time on his hands. I mean, I work full time and do this part time, so it's you know, to do something good and meaningful for the gaming community all over the world. So let me try to do a little FAQ for you guys. You wanted to have total control, unlike having to rely on a platform like Steam, freedom. How do you feel about it? Okay, good. What is DEI Detected? DEI Detected is the natural evolution of Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. It is well known for a time that Sweet Baby Inc. isn't the only company forcing DEI into video games. Again, they're not forcing DEI into video games. So with the 400K follower mark on the curator page getting close, that's depressing. I think that this is a perfect time to expand and start talking about what other DEI consultancy companies are doing with video games too. Has a goal of bringing consumers awareness by letting people know what games have DEI ideology implemented in their development cycle, as well as how it affects our culture as a whole. What do you plan on do on the website? Basically the same I already do on the Steam curator page, listing the games that have DEI implemented, but this time around coming from my other DEI consulting companies too, while also promoting good, mainly indie games that respect us gamers by not trying to re-educate us, virtual signaling and influence the way we see the world. These will be referred to as DEI-free games. DEIF. Oh my God. I intend to expand the DEID to talk about movies, series, animes, and other forms of media in the future too. Bear in mind that we are not journalists, but gamers doing their best. Oh my God. Why does he need to clarify that he's average looking? I don't know. Honestly, there's some merit to this. I'm hoping to change jobs, and this guy is basically giving me a list of places to consider applying. Yes, Chance, because we want to go apply to those places that force diversity in the games. Which, again, for the 100th time, is not a thing. That's not something that happens in the video game industry. Because, Chance, they need to keep that fragile ego at max defense. Oh, man, Angela, that's a burn. That is a burn. That is a burn. But, you know, again, I wanted to talk about this real quickly. This is dumb. Having diversity, equity, and inclusion in games is not making games worse. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. And I said it the other night. When he talks about, you know, forcing a worldview upon us or anything like that, what he's basically saying is keep your politics out of games. I'm going to say this again. If gaming is going to be taken seriously as an art form, it's going to focus on, it's going to reflect real world issues that people face. That's the way it's always been since forever. When people wrote plays back during the Greek times, all the way up until now, we focus on, you know, politics and movies and games and books. You know, it's not something that you can just block out. It's what makes for good story writing, is talking about politics and games, and they might be politics that you disagree with or that make you uncomfortable, and that's fine. Art is not supposed to be something that, you know, is supposed to make you always feel good 100% of the time. Sometimes it's about self-reflection, you know, and challenging your worldview. I think that's incredibly important. That's why you go to college, to challenge your worldview and challenge the way you see the world. That's important. I've talked about this for long enough, and I had to go on this rant because, again, this website is so dumb.